would you like to learn a bit more about the secrets of the numbers, and in particular, the secret of number 20? Beautiful ignited soul. So we are going to explore the number 20. Yes, but before we do, let's invite the 14 gods that we are the embodiment of. So we say, let there be light, and there was light. So this reminds me like when I started my videos, and I'm talking about a few years ago, where I embarked upon the realization of the spell, the first spell of the Bible in Genesis of chapter 1 and verse 3, when the said God revealed or said, let there be light, and there was light. And of course, sharing light. So we invite light into what we are doing, thinking, or speaking, whatever it is we are doing here. We want to see light in what we are doing, not just talking. And when we say light, we mean understanding. We mean to have a clear understanding of the numerical vibrations, and in this case, the number 20. Now, I have done, and I continue to say I have done, yeah, but there is a reason to say that you can explore the videos and you will embark upon this understanding of the numbers when we are speaking of number 20 in particular. So I'm going to cover number 20 briefly, but of course, let's have a tea break. Oh, this is coffee time for me. Okay, well, you can have tea or coffee. In this case, I'm having coffee, and yeah, it's just one of those things that I had stopped drinking coffee for a while, and then I feel okay because I was on this eat for your blood type and stuff, and now it's everything's for a time, so it's coffee time. Okay. Now, of course, it is tea time. Where you're at? Where? So we have Let There Be Light. And we are exploring the number 20. Now, I'm going to do this, and I'm hoping I can cover areas that maybe is not maybe that is going to be useful for you. So, of course, we embark upon numbers. We embark upon, when we use the word 20, we also think of the number or figures 20, as in two zeros. But we are going to explore both aspects because this is the gift of language we were given. Now, I like to also look at the date of today. So it's the vibration of the day. Now, of course, but it's going to be with more emphasis on 20. And as we go along, you will discover that, of course, we are going to explore, for instance, 20, the 20th of the first. And it's amazing how things seem to just go for a walk without you realizing that you actually moved or they moved. Okay. Well, okay. Well, not too far off. So we are going to look at 20. Before we put today's date on, let's do this because we want to give you some deliciousness here. Okay, so 20 is actually in numerology. We'll just look at this as the word 2 or figure 2. That's what, in this Pythagorean numerology, we would see this as 2. Now, of course, 2 is 2, 5, 6. This equals 13. Every time I do 13, of course, I remember the story of Jesus, because Jesus, of course, this is the big famous Christian plaque or symbol, whatever it is you want to say. It's 12 disciples and Jesus being the 13th. Of course, there has been lots of emphasis that Jesus, of course, died. Now, you would be asking, well, who was the 13th person? But since he, of course, recruited 12 disciples, we could say that he was the 13th at the table. The correlation of the number 13 and death is quite present here. Now, you will also see that it is also present in the word 20 or in 20. Because, of course, again, on different aspects, we have seen 20, the word 20, especially when he said to Peter, who, of course, has the numerical vibration of 10, the famous word, the number 10, which is masculine and feminine, perfect for sowing seeds or coming together, male, female, the opposites. And he said to Peter, upon this rock I will build my church, something to that effect. And so we see that the word rock, people, equals 20. And we seem to take it for granted that, or two only applies to when we are having two fruits or two people at a table or two as we see it. We forget that there are vibrations and frequencies and symbols and all those things that take place in making a thing happen or the timing of something. To be more specific as well, the word time equals 20. So let us look at the two we are talking about. So when Christ, or Jesus rather, in this sense, because Christ only happens in the realization of the resurrection. And that is the same for you and I. When we have our awakening, then we awaken the Christ spirit within us, and then we are realizing this. So when Jesus speaks, Jesus, of course, Jesus is the teachings that we've had. Remember, the the US is here. The United Souls is here. This is what Jesus is about. United souls. So he got his 12 disciples, and of course he was 13. I hope I have 12 and 12 and 12 and 12 and 12. Well, disciples, we are one unit. Of course, United Souls. By the way, if you are new to this channel, I hope you find something delicious here. And I also want to invite you to like. You can do this now actually because of course you're still here. Like and subscribe. And of course, knock that notification button, and so you know when the videos are being uploaded or have been uploaded. So thank you, and not just for new subscribers or new viewers, that's for everyone who's just stopping by. Yeah, get your fingers to do something. Okay, because the finger is the number of change, actually number 5. Okay, so not only we have 5 fingers, the word finger is 5. Isn't that wonderful? That says a lot. Okay, so we had Jesus, and Jesus said to Peter, who is, of course, Peter is actually 5 letters as well. So we see the construct of 10 happening right here that says something is happening. So like they say, something is about to go down. Okay, so Jesus equals 11, and then he has this thing with Peter who equals 10. I'm not going to do all the maths now, if you like, but 10 is actually, like when we do TEN, it actually equals 12, which coincides. Can you see, people, the secret of the numbers? So basically, it's almost like Peter had encapsulated the other or the 12 disciples, if you like, as if he was the seed, as if he was both male, female, up, down. And it's also said that he was Jesus' favorite, or most dynamic, or more the one who asks most questions. So you can see having the 10, and I'm not saying there weren't others who have the 10 numerical vibration, but let's look at this here. They both have 5 letters each. That comes to 10. And Peter equals 10. Jesus equals what, 11. So there we have the Trinity. That would be 21. Where you see number 21, you know there is a lot of, it's like the it's three. It is the lock that actually holds, the padlock that holds and or releases. So we would say 12, 1 plus 12 is 1 plus 2 is 3. Now, so Jesus says to Peter, upon this rock, ROCK, which is actually 9632. And so this is 1520. So he says, upon this rock, I'll just give this as an example. But we know like time here. So whether he was referring upon this church or rock, or but the word rock is used here. And so we'd see like rock, we'd see time, we'd see south, SOUTH, we see down, DOWN. There was something as well very it's a word that just seemed like yeah, anyway, when it comes, it comes. But we see all this, just like there are 11 minutes on the clock now, Jesus equaling 11, 1 plus 1 would be 2. So, but we can see all this was very relational in that foundation for Jesus's church as Christianity has evolved, you could say. So this is what we are talking about too. And so here, as I said before, in the sacrifice template, which I'm going to point out in a while, is that the letter B, which equals bond, like brotherhood. And Jesus said things like, oh, a brother is much better, or a friend is closer than a brother. But the word brother is showing the strength of a bond. Whatever you bound in the heavens shall be bound in the earth. And all those bound and burn and build, all the B words were very prevalent, or very pinnacle in the Old Testament. So here we are talking about we be having the numerical value of 2 on the sacrifice template. This is where we see, and we have explored this in numerous presentations, where Jesus is handing something. This is my body. By the way, the body is another B, and the blood is another B. This, I'm speaking of the Last Supper for people who are not familiar with the story. So Jesus breaks bread, which symbolizes his body, and shares with his disciples. The blood or the wine is denoting or signifying the blood. So here we see the 2 B's as well. And so we also have understood that the whole sitting or setting was on the same par of having that bond. It's like everyone sits at a table, of course, everyone, whatever's at a table, and everyone sits there. You are on equal you are equal at that time. So you are actually forming a bond by having this equal sign, which is 11. Basically, Jesus, who equals 11 here, is now laying of himself, forming himself like this, and to have this as the equal sign. Remember, people, everything is very symbolic. We may just say, oh, 1 plus 1 is 2. But this is actually saying where he's handing something to his disciples. It's like saying, you and I, we are on the same frequency, the same level. And so this is why I want to show you a little bit about the number 20, how it actually relates to number 2, but most profoundly in our times, because what Spirit is saying to me right now, there is another level or another secret to this numerology that we need to explore. Time for another tea break. Because this level is very delicious. I hope you are having a good time. Remember to like and subscribe, people. Like and subscribe, and please share of the videos, because this is for the purpose of nourishing ourselves and our cells, like cells, because having ourselves, our body, mind, and spirit in tune, that helps us to maneuver on this fifth dimension, where we need to, of course, be still liaising or having connection on the third dimension. So basically, it's knowing how to travel or traverse these times. So back to the number 20, people. We will be exploring 20. First of all, as I promised, let me share with you, out of the 14 gods that we have discovered in Genesis of chapter 1 and 2, of course, remember everything is 2. It is 2 because it's a left and right. We live in a world of polarities, and this is to help us to make sense of our makeup. So, of the 14 gods, there is only one of the gods, the created God, that consists of 7 letters that has this number. So basically, we all come into this fair as the number 11, which was Jesus, of course, the same. And here we see as 2 equals 13. Of course, 13 is 4. And this is what I want to show you, that because we are in this new Genesis, we are now, of course, you can see 3 also equals, what did I just say about 3? Peter and Jesus, they come together because Jesus is 11, Peter is actually 10. So, of course, there's the 3 in 1, if you like. It's like, so, and of course it's the 2 creations. So but what I want to show you is that I haven't rewritten this, but it's to also show you that there are aspects of this number 2 where Jesus had, I need a pointer, this 2 is where I call it the sacrifice, the A of the sacrifice. Here is where there's the basket or the blood or everything happens here, because B is actually the construct of 1 or I and 3. That is how the symbols of the language came in together. And of course, it has the secret frequency. This is the B. It's not like a C that the eye is open and you think, okay, it's C, C, C. B is like double tubes. It's like the breast, it's like the buttocks, it's like, it siphons, it holds secrets, it holds agreement or harmony. And this is why it is said, whatever you bound in the heavens, you bound in the earth. This is why Jesus says, whenever you do this, meaning half of the bread, again bread, where in the world people don't eat bread, that's the B again. So whenever you break bread, and we have to break breakfast, the B words hold a lot of information. And so this is what we really want to be exploring, and we see how this frequency has in it some secret knowledge. So it is not only, as you can see, 2, it comes under the 2, but B also holds the vibration of 13. It is the construct of 13. So as we have seen, and 1 plus 3, of course, is 4. This is important we remember this, people. So basically, this has the same, is to say we are equal. We have a secret. We are keeping this secret here. We have this bond. It's like the two breasts, they're together, one's not moving without the other, or the buttocks, or if one just moves here, the other one's there. They are going, traveling on the same journey, doing, it's the lips, they are moving together. It's the two nostrils or breathing together, the two eyes seeing together, whatever twos are going on here. So this is what I really want to show as secret number 1 or 2, whatever it is, I should number them, but there is so much to number 20. But let me give you that which is most delicious about the number 20. Well, it's not most, but I'm hoping you will find like, aha, that's if you hadn't got it yet. Because I've put it in so many of my videos, and I'm hoping, especially in the year 2020, I just said 20 people and the number 20 just came on air. And of course, maybe when I edit this, something shifts a little. But let's look at 20 here. So actually 20 equals 26, and it's 8. Now that tells us, so just to do this quickly so you can see, 20 is, I'll just do the numbers here, so it's 2 5 5 5 2 7. So that's it here. So this is 15, this is 22, 24, 26. So 2 plus 6 is 8. Now to show this, it's like the numbers are very much like you and myself. They have a cloak, but it doesn't mean that they don't have arms and eyes and legs. That's how the numbers are, people. That's how the numbers are. They have certain dispositions, and people who have learned about them have really understood how to apply them. So China is, I keep mentioning China. China equals 8 because the China breaks. So to really have a change, the China needs to break. And that's why we have had this breakout in China, particularly. I think it came towards the end, or you hear a little about it, the end of 2019, of course, which is 3 again. It's like the padlock has broken. But in 2020, and I don't clearly remember which date it is here, but everything happens in correspondence for each country, you could say. And so in 2020, people, we had this setting as a foundation, a new foundation for the new world. People may not see it that way. You hear about the new world, the new this, the new that. Because what? There's another word that is so important that I didn't stick here, death. Which, of course, coincides with number 13. Of course, because death as number 13 coincides with that B symbol under the 2 bracket or 2 on the sacrifice template. Please watch the video on the sacrifice template. I will endeavor to put it in the description box, people, and of course remember to like as well and subscribe. So and if you like any part of this okay, so another thing to show the correlation or the secret of number 20 is that when we have 8, EIGHT, it actually equals 31. Of course, isn't 31 the reverse, or you could say image or mirror image of 13 that we have been talking about? For the 13 at the table, or the 2, which is actually the 20 here. Wow, that's my elbow. Okay, or 2. And wasn't this why Jesus, of course, I think a lot of his disciples were recruited in twos, or maybe started in twos, and they were brothers. But we see this actually being reflected It was, I think, either two people who saw him after he was risen, and then perhaps another two. Oh, there were also two thieves, one to the left, one to the right, on the crucifixion on the cross, which I have done videos on as well. The symbol of the two thieves. Now people often speak again. Oh, this is one man who died for us. For one plus three. This is the secret of number two. When you hear and someone did something for us, they did something to us. People, it's the same vibration of that equilibrium, you could say, or this equal sign. So there is the other thing that no one speaks about, no one tells you about. Jesus was again one of two who died. Judas, one of two. We had been conditioned to they categorize them, we box them, we do all those things because of how we perceive them or how we have been conditioned to look at them. So Judas would seem the bad one and Jesus is the good one. And the one who betrays, to betray, I'm not going to go into the dictionary and all of that, but I would see it as saying, there you are, the one who is serving something on a tray. You are actually being a tray, if you like, as well. And we heard that he hanged himself. So all of that as well. So one hanged himself, one's on a cross. They both wouldn't they be one up? Or I don't know about what position Judas was in, but it's also saying that they were in pairs. There was an agreement. Jesus more or less
the word kiss
appointed,
equals 13, which represents the 13.
The word
so
kiss
that was a very commendable act, you could say, in agreement to performing that betrayal.
And looking at the structure or the foundation is that there were two thieves. Jesus had two thieves, one on either side. Whether they were brothers, but they were brothers in characteristics, or in character rather. Then you had Jesus and Judas as well. So therefore, building a foundation, a structure, and that's exactly what we are getting here with 8. 3 plus 1 is 8. And we get it again that where Jesus was crying out to the last words, he says, Father, Father, meaning again is counting or calling on that numerical vibration that derives from 20. We could say that because we could say it comes from the 2 and we could say it comes from the 8. So no matter how we look at 20, it's giving us some kind of message that we really need to pay attention to. And of course, I always say where there are 3 5s, Mother Eve, it's like 3 locks. It's like saying there's change. It's all these changes there because 5 denotes change. But not only that, the letter W is like saying that is to you, to you. So there's like where Eve would be like E and N also. There are two. That's the W is again, that's what 20 is more or less hiding something here. It's hiding, it's containing something. And so this is why you would have 13, say, above, and 31 above, which is 4, 4. 4 plus 4 is 8. That is all, again, people, the secret of the new creation, because what? It takes us back to creation. It takes us back to the created God. In the beginning, God created. The word created, I think, comes in the beginning, God created. So it's the fifth. Again, I've been saying about the number of change. created. So it's the fifth. Now we say, of course, that would again denote change. And with the numerical value of 11, that also tells us about the two creations. So here we had 5. No wonder, of course, you see the popular picture of, I think, painters as well, always, or Michelangelo, always showing the finger, people, showing the finger. The word finger equals 5. So we have 5 here and 5 there, and that in itself is showing the strength of creation through Peter. Peter is actually the vibration of heaven, you could say. Heaven equals 10, or hell, if you like, equals 10. So we won't go too much into this. Let's stick to 20. Oh, I'm loving this. I hope you are as well. Okay, so 8, I often think of 8 as a bow tie. You know, I watch people do watch those little symbols of someone starts a movie and he's wearing a tie, and the next minute he's got a bow tie. That is the person, that's the star of the show who's got that bow tie, because he's got to actually bring these two together, and that is what the message is about. You know, this is the bow tie, right? And so anyway, let's not get too involved in here, but this is also telling us that there is a set. The second or the eighth god of the 14 gods is actually Set. And in mythical gods, you have the set of Set. Set seemed to be the one that has been sustainable, if you like, or you hear of Set. But actually, Set equals 8. Then that is why. That is why you have this set, and everything is in a set to form that whole. That is what we make sense of. Now, another thing I wanted to show about 20, of course, we have seen that 20 is 8. We have seen that as a symbol of 2 in Pythagorean numerology is 2, so that means 13. So 13, of course, as we say, is the 13 at the Last Supper. That's a new creation. That was the mark of a new creation. And so, of course, we also see the hidden, like the down, the time, the rock, the death, all these aspects of twos. That's why when I grow up on a farm and when we plant seeds, we put 2 in the ground, 2 corn, grains of corn, 2 grains of peas. That's what we put in the ground, and of course that they grow. Okay. Now, what I wanted to say about 20 as well, we see that again, I mentioned China before, so we have seen that the China broke because there was, this is it, 5 letters again, people, just like Christ, H-I-N-A. Have we got it, people? Because it would be like Jesus and Judas. Again, 5 letters. So the 5 and 5 equaling 10. Now that is not to say that there were not other major changes where you had the 2, maybe like with Abraham and say Abraham, he was Abraham, there was 5 letters, and Hagar, there was 5 letters, and I'm not sure, I think it was after that he became Abraham as well. So we are talking about, there are lots of correlations happening for the times and season. So here we see what broke out, people, and of course they both equal 8. Yes. Yes, people, that's what happens. Now, what happens when 2 8s collide? Because they become a set. The set, of course, just like Adam and Eve, they ate. The woman did eat. Now, there's the spirit of sound mind as well. Oh, she did it. I think it was I was child minding, and when my nephew used to say, I did it, something like that. But there's the people who have had the intelligence and putting these rhymes into all these children's games and so on was really saying to say I did it, the ID EAT. Of course, this first creation was happening. Remember, Genesis equals 6. So that was the first creation here. So this is 494 people. And this is actually 17, just as it were God. So who did it? God. And of course, this is 8. This is 5, 1, 2. And this is also 8. But when you get these two eights together, they form 16. That's why I say 16 mutates. 16 actually mutates. And that's what is happening here. That's what is happening here, people. Okay, I have so much I could do on 88 or 16 or so on, but of course, I think it's best we have things in small bites. Okay, and I'm just seeing what we have in common here. There are two eyes, and they're just the two eyes. Okay, so, yeah, just to make sure we see, of course. And it's like eyes in there, people. Two eyes. It's 8. Of course, they have the numerical value of 9 because we have to say I. I and I. Okay, you get it. And 9 and 9 is 18. Of course, 18 is 9 that births out newness, beginning. So you need the two eyes to have a new beginning. Right. Now, 8 plus 8 again, we have 16. We have done this. 1 equals 16 and 6 also equals SIX. Again, that shows us like 6 letters, just like did it, where the woman ate and did it. And she also gave to her husband, and he also did eat. So you have those eights happen here, like those 4 eights. So the woman did eat, and of course that's 8 8 as I've showed, and she gave to her husband who was also with her, and he also did it. So we are talking about the 8 petal flowers. She did it, so that was it, and he also, however you want to see it, did it. So a lot of flowers happening here. Okay, I call it the 8 petal flower. And this is also 16. And we also see how this can continue, because that is forever and a day. But on the other hand, to show the secret of 20, there's so much to say on 20 people, because yes, I lived in St. Lucia for a while. I spent about 5 years abroad away from the UK, and I came back and I realized, what's all this 20 miles per hour? I don't know if I could drive at 20 miles per hour. Forgetting there are times you have to drive like 5 miles per hour. And so I thought, something is happening. All this 20 miles per hour. I look out of my window and it's 20. People, this is not happening by chance. We need to wake up to the realization that we are in a new dimension, in a new day, in a new sphere, a new world, a new time, which officially started on, we could say officially, if there is such a word to put, or a demarcation for it, on the 1st of January 2022. And that, of course, gave us a number 8. That 8, of course, we did it. This is where, you did it, and you did and gave to your husband, and he also did it. And this is where we are coming into this new era. It's a new era. So that's why I like to do the whole numerical vibration of the date so you get the essence of it. So you have seen how one resonates here in this teaching. Of course, one is like January, the like we did in the number 16. Likewise, you have seen how six is. It's like that's why it is called the number of impregnation. It's the number of love and war, whatever you want to call it, because it can both good and bad, both love and hate, and whatever it gets, that's what it's going to nourish itself on. So, hey, with 20 people, there is so much to say about 20. And so when we look at 26, it gives us 26, which correlates perfectly with the gift of language that we have been given. Again, this is something, what else would we do? So two sixes, 2 plus 6 is 8, but it also says to us 26 would be 2, 2 equaling 4, TWO equals 4, which we have done. Let's put 26 here. So this is 13, which is 4, and 6, SIX. It's showing us all the attributes, everything that it has. And 6 is actually 16, yes, which is 7. And this is how we get the new creation, people. I hope you get this. I hope you get this. Add these two together becomes 11. And that's how we get the new creation. You could almost say this is the vesica Pisces, but this is it here. 1, 1. Right here. Room 101. This is the vesica Pisces. This is the room 101 with Neo. Neo. You are the one, you are the one. And this takes us back to the created God, which is the fifth word of the Bible. There, in the beginning, God created. Of course, created equals 11. That's you and I. We all have this, people. And of course, taking us 1 plus 1 takes us back to 2. So we can see how the process of this happens. This is the creation. And what did happen in 2020, people? Yes, death and all kinds of things, rock, disasters, whatever it is, but it shows us the movement. We see we're still having all of these vibrations, even as in 2022, all these tools are still following. All this 20 itself is like the bedrock. It's like the trunk of the tree, that 20 that is bearing and bearing and mutating. And last of the other thing is all of this coincides with God, as in 7, 6, 4, which equals 8. Oh, those of us who are woke, we understand that it's all the same. Equals 17 and is 8. But we do need that reference. It's like looking in the mirror. Thank you, Ignited Souls. Remember to like and subscribe and share and stay ignited. Oh, and united. Let us know if you like this video or if there's something in particular you'd like us to explore, and just leave your comments, questions, whatever it is, because we are on this as shape United Souls.